Time now for your forewarned weather with Chief Meteorologist Alana Brophy.
All right, checking in on things a bit closer to home. Alana, how are things looking weather-wise today?
We still have some storms out there in southern and eastern Utah, ladies, and that means we're unsettled. Live view from St. George, Washington County, seeing some storms over the Pine Valley Mountains popping up, maybe Diamond and Dameron Valley, getting a little bit of moisture there, but other spots of southern Utah starting to dry out. But this cold front is progressing through the Beehive State. It's going to start to move towards the Four Corners area. Behind it, northwesterly flow. That's drier and it's cooler, and you probably noticed that today. On the satellite radar here, you see eastern Utah with just a few echoes of moisture, and we still have some activity right there on the Iron and Washington County line. Down towards Grand Staircase, we've seen some storms today. Temperatures are a little cooler, 80 degrees in Salt Lake, running just slightly below average. We've got 70s in Cache Valley, Utah County, over in the Uinta Basin towards Delta, 70s in Cedar City, and 60s in southeastern Utah, where those storms have popped up, cloud cover and rain knocking down those daytime highs. 84 in St. George, and along the Wasatch Front, we'll see those 70s turning into 60s. Are you ready for a cooler overnight? By ABC4 News at 10. We're into the mid-60s, but that drier northwesterly flow still in place, and that means we'll see quiet conditions and a drier setup for the Wasatch Front as we head into the close of the work week. Let's look at where that front's headed, because this system's going to ease out of the region. It's going to move to the east. Here we are by 8 p.m. The clock in the corner of your screen walks you through and forewarns you when to expect storms down there in eastern and southern Utah. By 8 p.m., a few still holding on as the overnight rolls through. Grand County stays active with some showers, so in and around Moab and Canyonlands, unsettled with cloud cover in eastern Utah. The rest of the Beehive State, quieter with clear conditions, and that will allow temperatures to drop. So another cooler start to the day as we head into our Friday afternoon. Over the mountains, we have the chance of seeing some storm development due to lingering moisture, but that high pressure wants to move in, take over, and become the star of the Utah weather scene, and we won't stop it. It means the weekend is actually going to be pretty pleasant. Here we are by 6 p.m. right there on the state line, a few storms and maybe some isolated activity over the high country. If you're recreating, eyes to the skies. We do have some spots that are going to clear that flash flood potential. That includes Lake Powell, the Swell, and Zion National Park. It's possible, and all those other spots, including Arches and Canyonlands, so the Mighty Five and surrounding areas. You just have to be careful, okay? Know before you go. Big picture here shows that that cold front is linked to this area of low pressure that's on the move. And as we head into tomorrow, it wants to exit to the east, and we're in between two systems. Drier conditions as that high pressure sets its sights on Utah for the weekend. Now, as we head into next week, we stay fairly quiet, but we're keeping our eye on a fall-like system. It's about a week away, but we are getting more confident that that could bring some wet weather to Utah, and a fall-like system means the Wasatch Front no longer that monsoonal flow. Precipitation outlook in the next 10 days, it's why it's above average. I just showed you that potential of that low pressure system coming in. We also know not just Utah, but the entire West will be trending slightly below average, so cooler conditions taking over by the middle to end of next week. Regional forecast shows those numbers for the 80s for our Friday, looking pretty nice, and the warm-up begins, and we see that for the weekend. We've got dry conditions in the north, 70s and 80s there in eastern Utah, and 89 in St. George. A little more cloud cover over south central and eastern Utah for your Friday. Here's St. George. Love St. George. Sunshine for the next couple, and we get those low 90s, which is where we should be this time of year. As we head into next week, breezy conditions Wednesday and Thursday, but check it out. This is where the Wasatch Front sees some changes. We're going to increase the cloud cover by the start of the work week, and Wednesday into Thursday, we do get the chance of some isolated storms moving through. Check out your weekend days. Saturday and Sunday, I love you. All right, sending it back over to Emily and Sarah.